Back for the Washup Walk-Ons podcast. I feel rusty, Grant and Kevin. We're down to the summer schedule. It feels like a once a week kind of deal. We're blessed with Quinn Schulte tonight. Quinn, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thank you.
And we just said, I was just talking about how Kevin, who seems to be fresh off a nice haircut, looking absolutely clean there.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Same for yourself.
Yeah, thank you. It's a once daily shave. Quinn was telling us how he's heard a lot about number 26 from the 2017 Hawkeye. So what do you know about number 26, Quinn?
Well, Coach Woods likes to show his special teams clips all the time.
Jesus.
All the time? Still in there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
No shot.
Well, he was your team captain too, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go.
Keep going.
So
talk to me. Yeah, you got all that right.
Pop up the 2-6 that often. Come on now.
Yeah,
it's good right. representation, I guess, still in the Iowa football building.
Well, if Kluver, you of all people know that. So Coach Woods took over special teams coordinator, 2017, our senior year?
I believe he took over in 2016, and then he was officially the full-time special teams coach our senior year. Yeah.
Correct. Right. Anyway. So basically his first 2 years as a special teams head coach were, we were juniors and seniors, and we played a lot of special teams that year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's still the same from when your time was there, Quinn, but once you install a teach tape, the clips that are in there pretty much going to stay in there unless they need to be changed for some other reason. They don't really need to be changed ever. So
Right.
Yeah. So, we were watching teach tape of guys from like the early 2010s to the mid 2000s. And it's the same stuff. Right. And so the coaches don't really see much of a reason to go back and change it. So,
right.
I'm sure there's plenty of better reps out there that have happened since then.
The Bob Sanders clip on punt.
Oh, yeah.
That's still in there.
Is that inspiration for a young Quinn Schulte as you entered Iowa City?
Oh, of course. And then he's still got the Dallas Clark. Oh my gosh. There's just tons of clips where it's like, oh, this is same clip every year. So once
do they still have Gervais getting destroyed in the combat?
Yeah, they do. And I'll be happy to say that too. Gervais getting destroyed.
That makes me happy. That makes me smile.
Gervais graduated a year after us, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't have been there with him. You came in 1 year after, Quinn?
Yeah, 1 year after. But he's reached out. He reached out to me actually when I first committed. So we've been in touch, and I used to see him in the building sometimes, and we still text. And I'm going to his the Rally for Reed camp next week with him. So he's been a great role model for me.
We're going to go ahead and plug that Rally for Reed camp. Still slots available if you want to send your kid to get coached by some former Hawkeyes.
Yeah, it's when is that? That's not. We're recording this on the 18th. When is that?
Is Friday the 27th.
Okay, so when this comes out on the 22nd, if you want your child to be coached by the likes of Quinn, Kevin, established Hawkeye legends, as we know in the first 3 minutes of this podcast, and Gervais, who gets blown up on teach tape, and there's plenty of other clips of Gervais that we could probably pull. Search Rally for Reed or go to Gervais's. I think rallyforreed.com is probably the place you want to go. Gervais isn't a big social media guy. That's nice that you reached
trying to buy some real estate in Austin.
Unless you're trying to buy a house in Texas. Big real estate guy now. Is there any clips, Quinn, that 7 years from now, guys in the Hanson Performance Center are going to be watching Quinn Schulte on tape?
I hope so. I'm on a couple right now. I think my best ones are gosh, I forgot what it's called. It's one of the first drills we do where like sideline skinning, where you're just like pretty much coming up to a guy and taking the right angle and tagging him off.
You're a coach's kid, right?
Yes, sir.
So my
dad is still head coach at Xavier High School, and
still the head coach.
Yep.
And has been for how long?
Oh, well, since they started in 1998, the school.
Holy shit.
but he was the head coach for 4 years before that at LaSalle, which would have been, it's a middle school now.
So you were born into the coach's kid, the whole deal.
Oh yeah.
I am a coach's kid as well, so I know a little bit about that.
Mhm.
Were you just destined to play football in college? Was it always the dream? He just had the football in your hands at 2 years old, or was there ever anything else when you were a kid?
I mean, we played all 4 sports, growing up, but obviously football.
There's only 4, correct?
Right. Football, basketball, baseball, and track.
Yeah, those are the only 4.
Those are the only 4.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we were kids, obviously we had a ball in our hands of some sort. But we all loved football the most because we were around it, the most, obviously.
You didn't want to play trumpet?
No. Actually, my mom was in the band in high school, but
let's go. Come on.
What did your mom play?
Mama Schulte.
Geez, I should know.
You should know.
It might have been trumpet. I'm not sure.
She's gonna listen to this and just text. She's gonna text you and be like, "Oh my God, Quinn, don't even know what I played."
Turns out she's not even in the band.
Turns out she was an all-state saxophonist.
Captain.
So, Cedar Rapids Xavier, private. I'm the Lone Ranger here on this podcast, by the way. We got Valor Christian, Providence Catholic, Cedar Rapids Xavier. I'm just a Marshalltown, Iowa kid, okay? Just come up from nothing. Tell me about the expectations as you. And how many siblings do you have?
I have 3, 2 older brothers and a younger sister.
And you're just all studs, right?
I mean, some of them, I guess. I don't know.
You were. Okay, we'll go with you. This is about you. You're coming, like, there's those expectations of, like, oh, your dad's sort of in the community. Your dad's, everyone knows who you are, right? Oh, you're coach's kid. The whispers start early. Wait till we get Coach Schulte's kid when he's a junior, when he's a senior. Did you feel those expectations early on, and how did that work when you were coming up through the school system?
Yeah, 100%. And like, growing up as a coach's kid, some people think it's like you're the coach's kid and you automatically have a spot and your dad takes it easy on you, where it's the complete opposite of he's busting your butt literally all the time and you don't even know if you want to go home after practice, But I was lucky.
He's threatening to make you walk home for practice.
Yeah, exactly. So I was lucky to have 2 older brothers too that kind of set the tone, and they went through it too, or they represented, I guess, our Schulte name, I guess, at the school pretty well.
So you had big shoes to fill.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Did you play right away as a freshman?
No, I was on the freshman team. So, and then my brother he was 2 years older than me. He started as a sophomore, so he started for 3 years. He was our quarterback.
Yeah.
And then I think my dad let me dress for playoffs, a couple freshmen.
Oh yeah. And we know Xavier was in the playoffs. Didn't have to question that one.
Yeah. And then
how many games did you guys lose during your 4 years in high school?
4 years, maybe 2 or 3.
Hey, good for you, man.
Sure. Yeah. But then as a sophomore, I started both ways at receiver and corner, and then junior and senior year was safety and quarterback.
How big is Xavier? How many kids in your graduating class?
The school usually has, I think, around 700 kids, 600, 700. In my class, I think we had like 180, 185, or 200.
And what's the multiplier rule in Iowa? Like, were you guys a 3A school then, or a 4A still?
Yeah, well, there was 4 classes then, and we were 3A. We were 4A at one point, but we were getting so small that we dropped to 3A, I think, in 2014.
Okay, so still pretty big size school to be starting both ways as a sophomore. That was
yeah.
Were you like big enough to do or were you still a little undersized at the time, or?
I was probably a little undersized and probably I don't know if I was ready to be starting both ways as a sophomore, but kind of just got thrown in there, and luckily my brother was pretty much leading the charge. So,
and you had that coach's kid instinct in you too, where even if you weren't big enough or fast enough to get there, you were already there because you knew.
Well, I knew all the plays for sure. That was we knew the plays by probably age 8 at home. So
you were indoctrinated into the Coach Schulte playbook. You'd run these things a million times in the backyard.
What's Coach Schulte running on defense? What's the defensive scheme?
So he's our offensive coordinator. Our defensive coordinator, he's a farmer named Jim O'Connell. He's kind of like Coach Parker, just hard nosed.
Oh hell yeah.
But on offense, my dad was calling the plays, and it starts with the I formation.
Oh yeah.
Power eye. So
you were born to be an Iowa Hawkeye.
Yeah, pretty much. He kind of sprinkles it up though, and they get into their plays and stuff like that. But our base formation is the power eye.
You said you mentioned how you didn't lose very many games. How many championships did you win?
For football, 2.
Mm-hmm. They've continued to do pretty well since you've been in college, and they're always a contender, right? Obviously, you can draw a parallel there between KF and your dad in the longevity factor playing a role in the success of the program. Why else is Xavier so good?
I would say the good thing about Xavier is kind of like what Coach Ferentz says is when you coach the players, it means one thing to coach and whatever, but the fact that those same players are coming back to help coach, and join the staff, I think it just keeps the culture rolling over pretty much,
Yeah. Probably a large, excuse me, a pretty big buy-in on the strength conditioning side pretty early on over there.
Yeah. So, Xavier's a little funky where we never really had a true strength coach. Our strength coach, his name was Tom Eklund. He would get up every morning and open the weight room at 5:30 a.m. And his salary each year was like $1 a year because he was volunteering. So he was pretty much just doing it for fun and to get the kids there. And now I think
just so that was their way that they could give him a key because he was technically an employee or something.
Yeah, pretty much. He's over there running things. But my dad used to do. Then another coach would come in at 8 o'clock and one at 6 at night. But now that I think we have a strength coach named Sam Myers who is running a true strength coach now.
It's interesting to hear that you guys didn't have a legitimate. I thought Marshalltown was the only one back in my time. Head football coach, bless his soul, amazing coach. Shout out Dave Holdman, probably listening to this. Legend. We ran the spread.
Bless his soul, he passed. I was like, oh
yeah.
No, I was getting to the point where I was going to dog him a little bit.
Okay.
And this includes my dad too, who was the offensive line coach for us. But we just had a bunch of football coaches, not strength conditioning guys, right? So it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday weights in the summer, right? They open up the weight room and then they're just on the computer, just looking at news or whatever, and they just print out the bigger, faster, stronger sheets. Hand them to the guys. Here you go. Just lifting, no supervision, no technique coaching, just nothing, right?
You guys run bigger, faster, stronger as well?
Oh, hell yeah.
That was everywhere in the 2000s.
Somehow that program got a hold of high school football coaches across the country, and everyone was just like, fuck it, we'll print it. Everybody just run it. Dude, I remember.
Squat 3 times a week, and we're going to bench 3 times a week, and we're going to be great at it.
And I got good at bench. Did not get good at squat. But did you take to strength conditioning early on, as a middle schooler? Were you excited to get into that as you came up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we started lifting our summer 8th grade year.
Yeah.
And then I should say too, Coach Eklund, he's still coaching us when we're in there and getting on our grill. But growing up, I guess my dad would just have us do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff, because I don't know.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
that's all you need. How big are you now?
You're a father of 2 now.
I am.
I know the answer, but can we Can we talk about, it's safe to have kids lift weights now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got them doing assisted wind sprints already. Kinley in the backyard, we're hooking up the tubes.
Oh yeah, you got
Yeah.
the little rubber bands. You got them.
Yeah,
going.
little
get the nervous system up and running.
Hey, we're trying to get that hip rate going.
Did you ever watch the Robo QB 30 for 30? What's the guy's name? Grant, you probably know.
I've never seen this 30 for 30 before.
The guy who turned his kid into a quarterback?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to bring this up in the Patreon episode the other day, and Grant didn't know then either. I forget his fucking name.
Marinovich.
Todd Marinovich.
Marinovich, yes. Yeah, so I'm not going to be that guy. But yeah, Kev, if we want to discuss the kids lifting weights, of course, there's a lot of articles out there. A lot of people, hey, it's not safe. You're going to stunt their growth. Not true, as long as you're doing it safely and correctly. Now, what are the odds that your average parent out there knows how to put any kind of loading onto their 7-year-old or their 10-year-old and have them do it correctly? Not great, right? So yeah, sure, there is a risk, but yeah, you can. Kids are going through, like, when kids play on a playground and they jump off a monkey bar, the amount of force that's going through their lower body, their calves, their quads, that's the same amount of force that they'd be under if you loaded them up with a little 10-pound squat bar or something like it's the same stuff. You just have to make sure they're moving well. But yeah, I had the same kind of thing, Quinn. Dad had the key to the weight room, opened it up. 6th grade, come over after school. I probably started a little earlier than I needed to, but I was excited. And then you start seeing those results. Kev said something, but how big are you now, Quinn?
I'm like 6'1", 210.
God,
so basically that is like Iowa safety. Like,
it's good size.
You're a walk-on safety. You're going to walk out of there at 6'1", 210.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much what everyone walks out of there.
That's the prototype, man. That sounds like exactly Gervais. Pretty much Kevin, except for Kevin had to put on some weight when he went to linebacker.
It would have been, if I didn't move to linebacker. Tanner Miller was the same size.
Tanner Miller
was like the exact same
Snyder.
That's just what you're going to be. You're going to be 6'1". You're going to be 6 foot or 6'1". No taller, no shorter. You're going to be 205 to 210.
Can you dunk?
No, I haven't tried probably, honestly, since high school.
That's probably smart.
Yeah.
Have you not picked up a basketball since then, or are you just not trying?
I have, but I just pick it up to just shoot threes pretty much these days. So I would never play pickup. The guys would go play pickup, but I didn't want to roll an ankle or anything.
And these young kids, man, they just see Steph Curry and Caitlin Clark. All they want to do is shoot threes. They ignore the fundamentals, getting close.
It's a new way of basketball.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
is it better or worse to watch
basketball now?
Yeah.
Probably worse.
Ooh. Except for Caitlin. I mean, Caitlin turns it at a whole new level. But so you're telling me, Quinn, that you weren't going to the rec and stepping in front of Coop when he was driving the lane?
No, heck no. And Coop liked to play all the time, but we would I'd do one-on-ones versus Coop for football in the indoor, but not basketball stuff. I
mean, if I could throw down like Coop, I'd like to play pickup all the time too.
I'd be there every day. Yeah.
If I was athletic as him, I'd never leave the ball fields, man.
Yeah, he loves basketball. So,
what was it like playing with him?
Coop, it was great. I mean, kind of like I'm 2 years older, so I got to kind of watch him develop.
Yeah.
And help him a little bit along the way. But I mean, obviously he's a genetic gift, and I think the best thing for him, honestly, is that his smarts and his brain. That's what helps him make plays.
You think that's even better than his physical ability?
Oh, yeah.
That's dangerous. He's pretty physically gifted.
Because, he's making play. He would, we'd be out there on the field and we'd, look over and be like, oh, they're about to run this. It's like, you don't have to take 5 extra steps if we know they're going to run a 15-yard out route, you know?
Do you feel like corner is his natural position, or where do you think, if given freedom of personnel, you don't have to plug any gaps, where do you think he best fits in on defense?
I think right now, honestly, him playing the nickel kind of that kind of, especially the Eagle system, which is pretty much the same as Iowa's, that cash nickel, where it's like sometimes he's DB, sometimes it's like a free outside linebacker. Roman pretty much is his best spot, but also he can play corner too.
Well, I know he can play any position in the back seven if you really wanted to.
Right.
There's a song that really kind of lays it out.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard that.
Cooper DeJean is not a safety.
Yeah.
He's just a corner that'll lock down your number one.
Yeah.
He's a superstar, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's a celebrity.
Like, how many times were you guys out on the field, practice field, game field, and y'all just look at each other like, are you kidding? Like, is this guy Superman or what is going on?
Yeah. So he originally started as safety, and I mean, I don't know if it wasn't really his natural spot per se. Not saying he couldn't play it, but coach put him at corner, I think, after his first year. And just right away, it was like he was paying the other quarterback to just throw him the ball. What is going on?
That's the funniest way to put it.
I think about our offense during the years that he was there, and it just how bad were the competition periods? Like how good our defense was versus our offense has.
Well, you know how it's probably always been the same since you were there. The defense.
I mean, yeah, we definitely got the better of the offense 9 times out of 10 during my day.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it'd be.
Was it even fun?
I mean, yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's nice to beat the guy across from you.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's always fun from the specialist perspective too. You pull it up after practice, you're like, oh, team had a good day. Like it seems like, because the specialists just see the good stuff and they're just celebrating that.
Yeah. Well, that's Coach Ferentz too, is it?
Right, and then you bring it up and he's like, he's pissed because he's an offensive guy.
Yeah, exactly. So if we have a bad practice, it's really the defense had a good day.
Yeah, yeah. Like, all right, well.
I remember specifically a few times, like obviously, Coach Ferentz calls it up to end of practice, and then we break it down. Then you all go off to your positions and talk to your position group before you start heading in towards the locker room. And several times we feel after like KF was just like dogging the teams, like we need to practice better, yada yada yada. And it feels like, hey, that's a pretty damn good day, guys.
Don't listen to him. We fucking killed it.
Yeah.
When did you start getting recruited?
Probably my junior year.
Like before or during?
Like during, I'd say during and after.
When you were so you start your sophomore year, I think as a coach, we've gone over the development as a kid. I have to imagine in your mind, the goal is like, I want to play Division I football.
Yeah, 100%.
And so then you start getting recruited. And who are like the first schools that you reach out from or that reach out to you? And when do you realize that dream is potentially going to become a reality?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like the in-state schools like Iowa State, UNI, they always kind of have a radar, on everyone.
Yeah.
But more like the smaller FCS, like South Dakota State, North Dakota State, those guys, kind of reached out. And then after my junior year, I think January, February, South Dakota State gave me my only offer. So.
Only true offer was them.
Yeah. Well, I think you and I after senior year, they gave me a little bit of money, but.
Man, that's always the story.
That's what they love to do, it sounds like. Just
the same thing happened to Drake. Drake's favorite story is to be like, yeah, they wanted to give me fucking books.
No, that was Josie. They wanted to pay for his books.
Oh, yeah.
It was Drake. They offered him like
more
than Josie, actually, which is crazy. Yeah.
Did you feel slighted? Did you feel a chip on your shoulder after that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah.
Were you a Hawkeye fan growing up?
Yeah, both my parents graduated from Iowa Law, so that's why I was a fan.
Jesus, Iowa Law.
Mm-hmm.
My God,
a bunch of overperformers there in the shoulder.
Just some achievers over there, some high achievers. And so Do you know that the walk-on opportunity at Iowa is the move the whole time, or how much of a consideration was maybe I take this offer?
I mean, because South Dakota State's a damn good program too.
Yeah. Well, they were a good program, but obviously they didn't win their championships until when I was in college. But I like their program. I like their staff. Honestly, it was a little bit far away from home. I think it's like 6-7 hours.
Yep.
But also, I thought about UNI a little bit, and then I also even thought about walking on at Iowa State, just because I like their defense and I like that middle safety position. I thought of maybe playing that, but at the end, obviously I love the staff at Iowa and the culture, and especially the walk-on culture, and my brother going there. Everything fit pretty much for me to line up there.
Yeah, that 3-3-5 defense is pretty interesting. I'm actually gonna grit my teeth, but I kind of like it.
Well, just that middle safety spot they have, where it's like you're kind of a linebacker safety. That's the spot where I was like, oh, that's kind of maybe fun to play.
Yeah, it's it's. I'm a safety, but I'm not the most athletic safety in the world. How can I play a position that doesn't require me to run from number to number?
Yeah.
You're still pretty athletic, Quinn. Don't take that as a slight.
Oh yeah, no. I ended up playing free safety anyway, so I was always a safety, but.
So you make the decision to go to Iowa, and then you tell me about the first camp, the first year. What is your mentality walking into Iowa City? You've got as the show is built on, you've got that walk-on mentality. Sort of, you go in. What are your expectations? Do you, at that point, as an 18-year-old, believe that someday you could start at this level? Are you unsure? What does that look like?
I was very unsure. So my summer, where we preferred walk-ons get invited, to summer lifting stuff,
Yep.
And so I got invited to that, but I was also, they still let me play baseball because I was only 30 minutes away,
Oh yeah.
So I would wake up at 4:30, drive down to Iowa City, lift, come back, pretty much go back and forth. And we actually, with the way the schedule lined up, we went to the championship, and we were 2 days into camp for football. And I asked Coach Ferentz what I should do. He was like, go win state, go play baseball. So I was 2 days late to my first camp ever at Iowa football. So I was way behind.
So you weren't even there at all, for the first 2 days?
Yeah, I was 2 days late. So I was already 2 days behind everyone else trying to catch up. I didn't know where to go for stretching lines,
Yeah, how scary was that?
Yeah, that's tough, man.
I remember my first practice, and whistle blows, everyone starts running. I'm like, where are we going? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that must have been kind of intimidating.
It's like the. It's like.
And then.
Go for
sorry.
it.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Well, 2 days later, I'm playing DB, but then I guess we had a bunch of receivers hurt, and so Coach pulled me aside after practice, and he's like, "Hey, I think we need you to play wide receiver. Can you do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so that whole camp, and 2 weeks into the season, I was a wide receiver.
All the way into the second week of the season, you were a wide receiver your freshman year?
Yes.
And was that a semi-permanent idea, or do they just need bodies over there?
No, I think they just needed bodies. And I was I'd be playing receiver and on scout team or whatever, and make a couple plays, and Coach Parker would be like, "Hey, have you talked to Coach yet about coming back over?" I'm like, "What should I go?" So eventually, I just went and talked to Coach Ferentz, "Hey, can I go back to playing safety and DB?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure. If that's what you want to do." What?
Oh, are you still in wide receivers?
KF was like, he looked at his little sheet of paper. He goes, "Oh shit, okay, Schulte, okay, yeah, you go, yeah, you get back over there with Coach." All right. That's hilarious. That is so him too.
You didn't want to stay with the wide receivers at all? No desire whatsoever.
No, that's not my identity.
Not my identity.
Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more about that. What does that mean?
I think I align better with Coach Phil Parker's mindset of, grinding away and wanting to hit people. So,
could you, in 3 sentences, describe Coach Phil Parker's mindset?
Intense. Gosh. I mean, I don't know how old he is now, but just every day he walks in the building, it's like the same intensity since, I'm guessing, probably since you guys were there.
Oh yeah.
Well, intensity probably the same. Demeanor maybe he's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah. There was a time.
Were you intimidated by him at all your first couple of years?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Coach Ferentz was like I don't even know if he knew my name, honestly. So
I think every guy has that story. I didn't know if he knew my name like until junior year.
I think he knows it. He's a smart guy. He knows everybody's name.
No, he knows.
He's off those vibes just to mess with you a little bit.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a little bit of a mental, like he likes to play mental games with you.
Yeah, it's a mental warfare every day.
Not in a toxic way by any means, but I think he's just trying to figure you out, and so he just kind of like messes with you a little bit.
You guys can both answer this because you played underneath him and on his defense. Do you guys think that that's on purpose to help with the mental side of the game and like keep you on your toes there, or do you just think that that's 100% of just who he is and he actually enjoys fucking with people?
Probably a little bit of both, yeah.
Okay.
100%. I know he enjoys it. Quinn, what do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say both too. He enjoys it, but he's also, I think, actually trying to figure you out, like you said too, Kevin.
Yeah, he wants to see how you respond to certain situations.
Quinn, if somebody comes up and they're like, "Oh, you played Iowa football. I heard that Coach Parker guy is pretty intense. You got any good Coach Parker stories or memories?" What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I mean, I've been yelled at so many times by him. I could tell you countless times, but for me,
and you're built for that because again, coach's kid, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'm used to it, and I'm glad he yells at me. If Coach Parker's not yelling at you, that means that he probably gave up on you.
Lost cause. Yep.
Yeah. So
was there ever a time where you didn't deserve it?
Oh, all the time.
He was probably, from the specialist perspective, was my favorite like entertainment during practice.
Mm-hmm.
Just to hey, I'm a little bored today. I got in my reps for today. I just finished period, whatever. We're going to take a break, a lot of breaks over there in the special teams room. And you know what? Let's walk over by the defense. Let's go see what the DBs are doing. And it's just like appointment television, right? You just go take a knee. Don't get too close. He did call me out for never doing shit a couple times. But man, it was just fun to go listen to him. I think people get the sense, like if you get a chance to actually sit and watch and listen periods to periods, you actually so quickly understand how much he knows about football and how good of a coach he is personably. Like, I think some people on the outside, they might get that game day, like they're in row 6 and they hear him cussing people out and they're like, oh, this guy's just an old school, like cuss you out football coach. There's actually so much more to him. That is part of it, but he's a fun coach to be around.
Yeah.
I was so lucky, and you can probably talk more about it, but that he never desired to go be a head coach somewhere. And he just wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
How did your relationship with him kind of grow from him maybe not knowing your name to this past season?
I mean, I think it started as, obviously, you're a young guy, you're trying to make a name for yourself, just keep learning, get on the field. And then probably by not my first year starting, but next, like 2023 season, it's like he pretty much gave me the keys to the car and just trusted me with everything. So this past year is pretty much the same.
It's got to be it's really a pretty neat feeling from being like a freshman who doesn't know anything. Like you say, does he know my name? Does he even like think I'm worth anything? To you become like a junior, senior, and he values your opinion. He's like, hey, how do you want to play this? Like, I mean, for me, I was a linebacker at the time, but we still chatted. I don't know. It's kind of humbling a little bit. I don't know how it made you feel when you finally kind of come full circle to, having that trust from him.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It's definitely like if we're in a meeting and he says, Quinn, what would you run here? It's like, geez, I can't believe you're asking my opinion, But
I mean, you're the one that's got to make the plays, right? So you got to do what's comfortable with you. So
right, exactly, and that's usually how he is with the older guys, especially like the older free safeties, obviously, in the room. So,
is there a favorite call that you had? Like, there you get the signal from the sideline, you get a little juiced up for that one.
Well, we didn't have a whole lot of free safety blitzes in.
I think we have like one.
Right, and so every time I got that call, that was a good call.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any sacks?
No, I only versus Illinois senior night 2023. I hit him quote unquote late on 4th down, so I actually got called for roughing the pass.
I remember that. That was bullshit.
How bad was the cuss out?
He didn't cuss me out because he thought it was a bad call.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
6 years in the program, Quinn.
Yeah.
Are you a doctor yet?
No.
What'd you do for school?
Well, I was pre-dental, so soon I'll be a doctor, maybe,
Let's go.
Our dentists doctors.
Is dentist a doctor? That's the question.
Of dentistry, doctor of dentistry.
Yeah.
You can still call you Doc.
Yeah.
Doc Schulte. You didn't get sick of it over there? You decided after 5 years, I'll run it back for a 6th.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it was a lot of fun, obviously. And I think now that I'm out of it, I'm looking back and being like, geez, I wish I could just walk into the facility right now, and just hit a 6 a.m. lift or something,
It's weird. Feels like a prison when you're there. And then once you get out, you're like, kind of liked it there.
Prison's a strong word.
Not like a prison, but like you spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part's probably the meeting rooms, honestly, just sitting there. But
well, yeah, because you're going to class for 10 hours a week.
You're definitely going to class.
You're definitely going to class for 10 hours a week, and then you got another, 5 hours a week or more of football class, which it's a lot. It's a lot of sitting at a desk.
Quinn's one of those COVID kids. He had probably all online courses for about 2 or 3 years in the middle there.
I did. Yep, it was great.
Unbelievable. Dude, you went through. You really went through some shit in your time there. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Bro.
There's a lot going on, though.
You've seen it all.
I've seen it all.
I mean, we're talking the Coach Doyle thing in 2020, COVID, the last 3 years with, the offense struggling, the Brian, everything. How do you even describe your 6 years inside the pro? Like that you've been through a lot.
Yeah. I can tell that you've got so many questions probably on the tip of your tongue, but you don't know what to ask. I mean, there's just so many.
Well, I could go into all those individually.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. We have before.
We have, and we've talked to him ad nauseum.
But I just wonder, as someone who's been there for all of that in an era now where you could transfer so easy, and I'm not saying you were playing, you're starting for the Hawks. But there's money out there, there's transfer portal, there's all this bullshit. And then you guys endure all that stuff on the inside as well. Just talk about that and then sort of the resiliency of some of the classes that have come through and how KF he's kept the whole thing together.
Yeah, I would say, like you said, it shows kind of Coach Ferentz's kind of who he is, I guess, as a man and character, and just believe in him, and obviously Coach Parker and Coach Wallace, but just seeing, I guess, all the different years that every year's played out differently. Goat Wallace, yeah.
It's Goat Wallace. We got a T-shirt. We'll send you a T-shirt if you want.
I'd actually would love one.
Yeah, we can do that. Send that out.
But yeah, each year's has been different, which has kind of been fun because it's like, what's going to happen this year, you know?
Well, some of those things I don't know if you would consider fun. It definitely kept you guys on your toes. Yeah, it's a crazy deal. All the way to, I mean, you guys 6 years in the program. You guys come to this past year. We got a new offensive coordinator in the system. KJ's running all over the place. What do you take away from such a tenured career and a lot of playing time? I mean, starting all the way back in that 2021 season, really, with a significant part on the team and that only grew. What did you learn from 18 to 24 as a player and as a person?
As a person, I would say just like perseverance and faith. You know, not seeing an outcome, but doing it every day. And then I guess as a player, I mean, obviously I learned so much from Coach Parker just on the mental side of the game, but just once you start to pick it up too on your side, you start to study the other side of the offensive side, and you start to pretty much pick up how offenses want to attack you and beat you, and you start to develop, you know, I guess what they're going to run.
Somebody asks you, what's your favorite play from college?
That's an easy one, I think. Well, my first year, like fully started in 2022, we played South Dakota State the first game, if you guys remember that.
Yep.
It was a
7 and a field goal.
2 safeties and a field goal.
Unreal.
The last play of the game was 4th and I think 5. And I pretty much like knocked the kid out on the sideline.
On the sideline?
Yeah. If you guys go look it up.
Cold. Just left him cold, huh?
I have the video, I think, but I just remember it was 4th and 5 for the game, especially since I didn't end up committing there and going there, and so yeah.
Oh yeah, a little bit of a full circle moment there, huh?
Yeah.
What's your what are some of your favorite games over the course of your career?
Mm-hmm. I like that 2023 senior night versus Illinois. But I also we had a senior night 2 years before, 2021 Illinois senior night. It was my first game starting because Kerner was hurt. And so it was also my brother's senior night. They were the same age. So I was like, all my emotions that game were just kind of all over. And I had a 4th and 5 stop that game too. So those 2 games at Kinnick were really, really fun. And then the time that we played Northwestern and Wrigley, that was just crazy.
I think I found the hit, by the way.
Could you bring it up?
I think I found the footage here. If this isn't it, then you're gonna have to let me know which one it is.
I mean, we'll gladly watch any Quinn Schulte footage.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you did get him, huh? And that whole sideline was probably calling for the flag.
Yeah.
It's funny.
What are your thoughts on the targeting rule, and why is it terrible?
I mean, you're putting a defensive guy in a bad position. Why would you reward a quarterback for throwing a bad ball he shouldn't throw?
I don't know.
Case closed. Rule changed.
You know, but it's an offensive-minded game now, as Coach Parker likes to talk about, and so just makes it harder for defensive guys.
Stacking the deck against you.
Yeah.
What was this? Actually, before I ask that, talk to me about Coach Wallace.
Oh, I love Coach Wallace. He's going to be a head coach one of these days, hopefully, if Coach Ferentz retires. But he
was for you guys last year for one game.
Yes, he was. Did a great job. Got
undefeated.
Shut up.
What is Coach Wallace's pregame speech?
Oh, I mean,
or is it he got his own little tone?
Well, you know, he's got his own tone that just gets everyone ready to go and fired up. And
God, I need that. I need that in my life.
He does a great job, and he's so detailed. And you know, his linebackers are like his little minions that run through the facility. You know,
Facts.
Little minions.
He's I think you're right. I think he is going to be a head coach someday. I don't know where it's going to be.
There's no doubt he will be at one point. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And where.
I mean, they tagged him with that associate head coach role.
Yeah.
So like the rest of that year, did like it feel like he had a different role within the program from a player standpoint, or not so? Or what was your?
No, I mean, Coach Ferentz is still the head guy, but
Yeah.
I think they were just giving Wallace his roses and his due money, or whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but he does a lot of work behind the scenes that probably not a lot of people see out in the public.
Does he mess with Phil now since Phil works for him?
No, he doesn't mess with Phil. He's not Phil, Coach Parker. He's still scared of Coach Parker.
What was it like training pro day this spring? Walk me through that, and then you got a mini camp invite with the Raiders, right?
Yeah. So I went out to Denver to train called Landau Performance. Lauren Landau, he owns it. He's the strength coach now at Notre Dame. And I only went out there instead of Iowa, pretty much to get away and to kind of lock in and focus,
Sure.
Otherwise, I would have trained at Iowa, but it was good. I mean, I was out there for 2 months. I came back to Iowa for like 3 weeks, finished up training. Thought I had a really good pro day. Did a good job, and then unfortunately only got invite to the Raiders, but went out there. Thought I did good, but they didn't sign me yet. So
yeah, NFL's a brutal business, man.
Yeah.
How does it feel that Jake Gervais has a Super Bowl ring?
He's a lucky man, that's for sure.
Dude, I thought, Kev, so it's so funny you bring that up because I thought about that the other day. Like I saw Gervais post a picture with his daughter or something, and I just sat there for a second. I was like, this motherfucker won a Super Bowl. this guy.
Well, you just go back and look at the film of his interceptions, and he's a lucky man.
That's a shot right there.
I don't care if he's listening to this right now, too.
I'm thinking of one in particular that got tipped to him, and I agree.
We're talking about what his last game. He
was in the bowl. Yeah. Right place, right time. He's going to tell you that he put himself there. No, we've taken plenty of shots at Gervais on this show, and
he's one of those guys you just love to take shots at.
Yeah,
he's a cockroach too. He just would not die in the NFL for a few years there. He kept coming back. I lost my train of thought. So you're gonna be now what's the plan? Quinn Schulte, just gonna be a dentist. You're just gonna rule the dentist industry.
Yeah, I'm in dental school right now at Iowa. Need your teeth cleaned at some point,
Is that tough for you, or is it like whatever?
Is it what?
Is it tough? The school?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be tough. Dental school.
Just dental school's hard.
I don't know. Maybe he's a fucking wizard with teeth. He was born to clean, teeth.
Quinn, I could be wrong. Don't they only let like 20 of you in there? Like, isn't it hard to even get in?
80 per year at Iowa Dental School.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like I'm pretty sure it's like one of the top dental schools in the country. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, shit. This is more impressive than you being an Iowa football player.
Nah, maybe.
What is your favorite tooth?
Ooh,
I have no idea yet. Maybe the canines.
Great question.
That's a first time question on this podcast. 600 some episodes in. What's your favorite?
You should know this thing. If we had a chef on here, it's like, what's your favorite food? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a tooth. He's a tooth guy.
He's a big tooth man.
You stopping with the dental, or are you gonna try and go all the way up to like ortho or anything? Or
I'd love to do ortho, I think, but I think you got to get really good grades in dental school. So I guess I got to study my butt off.
So we had to have decent grades just to get in there.
Yeah.
Oh man, orthodontist just Grant's in the old orthodontic industry over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm not an orthodontist. No, I'm not nearly smart enough. I just sell ortho products.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, helping out. But no, I love big fan of the dental school of Iowa.
Grant's trying to get a client,
there,
is what he's saying.
Yeah, he's planting some seeds for down.
He's planting seeds for a connection later on.
I'm very far away from Iowa now, so
Yeah.
couldn't even if I wanted to.
What do you think about this this roster limit? How many Quinn Schultes are gonna make the cut now?
Yeah. I don't like it, honestly. As you guys know, probably as walk-ons.
Yeah, we would all been fucked.
Yeah. Well, to go from, I think it's 130 in 1 year to 105 just doesn't really make sense.
Horrible.
Is that what the Iowa team was carrying last year? Is 130?
I think it was like 128.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually what we carry. So now, I mean, after their first year as a walk-on, it's like you don't get much opportunities. So if you're a first-year guy that they went from the 130 to 105, you definitely, it's like you're probably not going to be on the team, I guess. But I know we have a couple walk-ons, obviously, that have developed themselves and are still on the team now. So,
but I mean, yeah, like Kluber said, a lot of those stories just like don't even happen now.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a legitimate. It's like looking back, Kev. It's a legitimate question of like, Bo, just in our house, right? Like you, me, Bo, Drake, Ike, and Josie were big time scholarship athletes, but the four of us, like how many of us are even there in the first place? And then,
well, you probably get in, right? Because it's 105, and there's
in the year that I came in, I would have been lucky because I was. For some dumb reason, they only had one guy going into that year. So I probably luck out in our year. But a guy in my position is most of the time going to be like that third guy in the long snapper position or the kicker or the punter. And I don't know if they're going to take three. Like, I don't know what that looks like. So Drake, we talked about him. I don't think he makes a cut.
Never would have met him. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, he didn't get invited to that first camp, so he never would have been there.
And Quinn can probably think of 10 guys right now that like over the course of his 6-year career, like turned into something, maybe himself included. And like you go back and you implement a 105 rule, you're not even sure they're there.
Right. I mean, I was runs on walk-ons, to be honest. You guys know that.
I mean, I think our class was probably above the standard average
of walk-ons
that turned into like
no doubt
big time contributors. Because I mean, you think about Boone too. Boone was our starting left tackle. He was a walk-on.
Yeah, insane.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, yeah, a lot of those guys will still guys that would have been walk-ons will now be scholarship guys, but probably less, right?
Well, I think about a guy like Quinn, right? Like they come to you and you're like, man, we want to grab you, but we only have so many spots. And now all of a sudden you're taking that scholarship at South Dakota State. Right. And then
right.
Sure, maybe there's still that same opportunity. You create that connection. Quinn, you go and ball out for 2 years as a safety at South Dakota State. You're a Jackrabbit legend. Iowa comes along 3 years later and they're like, hey, you want to transfer in now with this whole portal deal? But it's just like, it's a lot of motion. There's a lot of movement going on. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if that's because no one really you don't want to do it that way. In my opinion, you want to do it the right way. And
not ideally as a player, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Like you'd like to be in one spot,
right? So
as a program too, you want guys that are going to be there for 5 years so you can develop them,
culture and everything.
Yeah, culture and strength and conditioning, and knowledge of the playbook. Even if you're a developed guy and you're coming in first year, like you can learn a playbook if you've, gotten a good idea of how football works, right? But still a lot of advantages to, being in the same playbook for 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Quinn, how good is NIL?
I mean, I'm blessed to get a little bit of NIL. I was kind of on the back end. I'm not sure exactly what they're getting now, but obviously hearing the numbers on Twitter from like quarterbacks in other programs, it's got to be crazy. So
Anything is.
You guys didn't even need free bottles at Summit. You guys could just pay for them, right?
That's where you go, Kev. That's the place you go.
Oh.
Favorite catered meal?
Chop House.
Really? Chop House guy.
Over Graze? Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Chop House is respectable. It's a good meal.
Yeah. No, I mean
Steakhouse. Just
Yeah.
Grant, you got any questions for the man before we let him go?
yeah, I'm curious, Quinn. So again, you saw a ton in your program, including the addition of some West Coast schools to the Big Ten in that time. So you're one of, I feel like, a few Iowa probably athletes in general that saw all of this, including you playing at Rutgers on Friday night, and then also UCLA. You've touched both coasts. Do you have a preference of one? I'm curious. Like in terms of travel, time zone differences. Would you rather like gaining clock going to the East Coast or losing it going to the West Coast?
Probably.
Or does it even matter?
It honestly doesn't matter. But I know that Coach Ferentz used to not schedule like out of conference games in Arizona because he'd like getting the time back from the East Coast.
There's some other reasons too, I think, for that.
Yeah, I think it's like a 2004 game that he's scarred from or something like that.
Yeah, there's a couple details of that trip that went wrong. Yeah. Like somebody got sent home before the game happened.
I think that was a bowl game. I think that was the bowl
game. Was that a bowl game out there? Okay.
That was a bowl game like 6 years later.
Okay. So he just doesn't have good memories of Arizona.
No, Arizona's not treated the Hawkeyes well.
Him and Mary aren't retiring to Phoenix.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. And then I want to know as well, do you have a favorite bowl game in your career? Attended a lot of them.
Well, I should say Music City what would have been 22. I met my girlfriend after that game. But favorite bowl game, I mean.
Well, hey, by the way, take notes, everybody. Look at the brownie points there.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this guy worked it in.
For me, experience, I would say, I guess, Citrus Bowl the first time we went there, even though we lost. So really, it would be the Music City since we won that one.
I was there. I was there at that Citrus Bowl.
Wait, so how did you end up meeting your girlfriend then? You just like look out in the stands, game's over, and you're like, that one right there?
No,
or like, what is the story?
She's actually a cousin of one of my good buddies that's on the team, and we kind of met mutually.
Wow. That is true love on the football field.
There you go. Well,
thank you. With it, or is he like, hey man, it's my cousin? Like,
sorry.
He asked if your boy was cool with it.
Oh yeah, he's all good. He was my roommate actually.
What a deal!
Oh wow. Okay.
What a deal.
Yeah, well, yeah. If anyone needs to go get a girlfriend, just simply playing the Music City Bowl. It's that simple.
Head down to Nashville.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people try that unsuccessfully. Quinn, man, thank you so much. You did a lot in the Hawkeye uniform. God, more than most people ever even will get a chance to because of that COVID year. And we had fun watching you play the last few years. I'm sure you're gonna miss it. As we know, over the last few years, you get further away from it, and you're just like you said, you just like to go back in and get like one more hot tub in, you know?
Yeah, right.
Just let me get one
power on your way out.
Yeah, get me one more Fairlife chocolate milk that I don't have to pay for.
Right.
So we appreciate your time here, and yeah, thanks for joining the show, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. I do want to give a shout out to walk-ons Jack Kerner and John Milani too.
Ooh,
yeah,
Milani.
Yeah,
that's a name we haven't heard in a while. Milani he's a legend.
Yeah,
Milani's a fun dude.
Dude, we should have John on. Have we not had him on?
Well, I think we had him on, didn't we?
If we haven't, we certainly need to. I know we've had Jack on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk. All right, well, I'm gonna have to reach out to John.
Were you part of the Doughboys? Were you part of that whole the guys that made the T-shirts?
Oh yeah, Doughboys for life.
How many T-shirts you guys sell?
Oh, I don't know. Enough to get a little bit of money, I guess.
Are you interested in licensing that to the Washed Up Walk-Ons LLC?
We'll sell it off of our platform.
I don't. That was a Kayvon project, so you'd have to ask him.
Okay.
Another guy we haven't had on the podcast. Got to get him on. Cool, man. I know for a fact that everybody listening, probably a huge Cedar Rapids contingent tuned into this one, the entire city. So thank you everyone for listening to Quinn. And we will be back next week again with another episode, another guest, maybe, who knows? But until then, peace.